Good morning, good morning. I got a cramp in my butt. So, like Lily said in the chat, this is an AA meeting, and please don't be judging each other in the chat. Um, this is a meeting for people who need the help to get sober, stay sober. I take this sweater off; it's too hot. So yeah, just please be kind to each other in the chat. Um, okay. Let me see. You can hear my dog over there, chomping away on that, thing. Hopper, can you please stop? Crazy dog. Hello, Bangirl. So I am live on Facebook and YouTube. And like I said, this is a meeting, so please be kind to each other in the chat. After all, not everybody is a recovering alcoholic, but everyone is welcome. So, and I'm Sandra, and I'm an alcoholic. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I always put in the description what books we're reading, what page, what the story is about, all of it. So it should be in your descriptions. In the descriptions, not your, but yeah. I always get the steps out of the front of the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book. You can get the app. It's a daily reflections. It keeps track of your. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it will keep track of your sobriety, birthday, and it'll keep track of all of that, and you can read the books there. You can also listen to audio. So, yeah. Today I'm drinking some hot chocolate, and yeah. Thank you, Fangirl. Appreciate it. So, step one, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our life over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7, humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11, thought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Good morning, Tommy. So we are in the big book, and we are in the Keys of the Kingdom on page 272. And I'm going to start off with he further explained. If you don't have a book, it's fine. I'm going to read it anyway, so listening is okay. He further explained that alcohol was no respecter of sex or background, but that most of the alcoholics he had encountered had better than average minds and abilities. He said the alcoholics seemed to possess a native acuteness and usually excelled in their fields, regardless of environmental or educational advantages. We watch the alcoholic performing in a position of responsibility, and we know that because he is drinking heavily and daily, he has cut his capacity by 50%, and still he seems able to do a satisfactory job. And we wonder how much further this man could go if his alcoholic problem could be removed and he could throw 100% of his abilities into action. But of course, he continued, eventually the alcoholic loses all of his capacities as his disease gets progressively worse. And this is a tragedy that is painful to watch. The disintegration of a sound mind and body. Then he told me there was a handful of people in Akron and in New York who had worked out a technique for arresting their alcoholism. He asked me to read the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and then he wanted me to talk with a man who was experiencing success with his own arrestment. This man could tell me more. I stayed up all night reading the book. For me, it was a wonderful experience. It explained so much I had not understood about myself. And best of all, it promised recovery if I would do a few simple things and be willing to have the desire to drink removed. Here was hope. Maybe I could find my way out of this agonizing existence. Perhaps I could find freedom and peace, and be able once again to call my soul my own. The next day I received a visit from Mr. T, a recovered alcoholic. I don't know what sort of person I was expecting, but I was very agreeably surprised to find Mr. T a poised, intelligent, well-groomed, and mannered gentleman. I was immediately impressed with his graciousness and charm. He put me at ease with his first few words. Looking at him, I found it hard to believe he had ever been as I was then. However, as he unfolded his story for me, I could not help but believe him. In describing his suffering, his fears, his many years of groping from some answer to that which always seemed to remain unanswerable, He could have been describing me, and nothing short of experience and knowledge could have afforded him that much insight. He had been dry for 2.5 years and had been maintaining his contact with a group of recovered alcoholics in Akron. Contact with this group was extremely important to him. He told me that eventually he hoped such a group would develop in the Chicago area, but that so far this had not been started. He thought it would be helpful for me to visit the Akron group and meet many like himself. By this time, with the doctor explanation, the revelation contained in the book, and the hope inspiring interview with Mr. T, I was ready and willing to go to the end of the earth if that was what it took for me to find what these people had. So I went to Akron and also to Cleveland, and I met more recovered alcoholics. I saw in these people a quality of peace and serenity that I knew I must have for myself. Not only were they at peace with themselves, but they were getting a kick out of life, such as one seldom encounters, ex- except in the very young. They seem to have all the ingredients for successful living: philosophy, faith, lost my spot, a sense of humor. They could laugh at themselves, clear-cut objectives, appreciation, and most especially appreciation and sympathetic understanding for their fellow man. Nothing in their lives took precedence over their response to a call for help for some alcoholics in need. They would travel miles and stay up all night with someone they had never laid eyes on before and think nothing of it. Far from expecting praise for their deeds, they claimed the performance a privilege and insisted that they invariably received more than they gave. Extraordinarily people. Or, yeah. I didn't dare hope I might find myself all that these people had found, but if I could acquire some small part of their intriguing quality of living and sobriety, that would be enough. Shortly after I returned to Chicago, my doctor, encouraged by the results of my contact with AA, sent us 2 more of his alcoholic patients. By the latter part of September 1939, we had a nucleus of 6 and held our first official group meeting. I had a tough pull back to normal good health. It had been so many years since I had not relied on some artificial crutch, either alcohol or sedative. Letting go of everything at once was both painful and terrifying. I could never have accomplished this alone. It took the help, understanding, and wonderful companionship that was given so freely to me by my ex-alky friends. Get out of there! Now! Get out of there! Crazy dog. This and the program of recovery embodied in the 12 steps. In learning to practice these steps in my daily living, I began to acquire faith and a philosophy to live by. Whole new vistas were opened up for me, new avenues of experience to be explored, and life began to take on color and interest. In time, I found myself looking forward to each new day with pleasurable anticipation. AA is not a plan for recovery that can be finished and done with. It is a way of life, and the challenge contained in its principles is great enough to keep any human being striving for as long as he lives. We cannot outgrow this plan. As arrested alcoholics, we must have a program for living that allows for limitless expansion. Keeping one foot in front of the other is essential for maintaining our arrestment. Others may idle in a retrogressive groove without too much danger, but retrogression can spell death for us. However, this isn't as rough as it sounds, as we do become grateful for the necessity that makes us toe the line, and we find that we are compensated for a consistent effort by the countless dividends we receive. A complete change takes place in our approach to life. Where we used to run from responsibility, we find ourselves accepting it with gratitude that we can successfully shoulder it. Instead of wanting to escape some perplexing problem, we experience the thrill of challenge in the opportunity it affords for another application of AA techniques. And we find ourselves tackling it with surprising vigor. The last 15 years of my life have been rich and meaningful. I've had my share of problems, heartaches, and disappointments, because that is life. But also, I have known a great deal of joy and peace that is the handmaiden of an inner freedom. I have a wealth of friends, and with my AA friends, an unusual quality of fellowship. For to these people I am truly related, first through mutual pain and despair, and later to mutual objectives and newfound faith and hope. And as the years go by, working together, sharing our experiences with one another, and also sharing a mutual trust, understanding, and love without strains, without obligations, we acquire relationships that are unique and priceless. There is no more aloneness with that awful ache, so deep in the heart of every alcoholic that nothing before could ever reach it. That ache is gone and never needed return again. Now there is a sense of belonging, of being wanted and needed and loved in return for a bottle and a hangover. We have been given the keys of the kingdom. touches right there. This is why I'm doing these meetings, is because it's the truth. When you truly accept all of the things that have happened to you while you're drinking, and you can go back and you can recount that and realize that you have another path. You don't have to stay on that alcohol path. There's help out. There's ways to work and become a better person for yourself and for others, but mostly for yourself. Because when you don't have those relationships, those people, you do feel alone. I felt alone when I was drinking because I drank all the time. And I couldn't ever see myself getting out of it because it was a daily battle. Same thing every day. Every single day it was drink, 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 and drink. And now I have those friends. I have those fellowships. I have the people that help me to stay on this path and help me grow in my sobriety and help me to not want to go back to what I was before, who I was when I drank. I remember that person. That person is not me. I never want to be that person again, ever. I want to continue on this streak of sobriety. And I know that if you're struggling with alcohol, you can do it too. You always have that out that can help. There is that line of people that can understand what you're going through, how you're feeling, why you feel you can't get out. The sense of being very, very alone. I've watched family members feel as alone, uh, feel as alone as I felt while I was drinking. Since I've become sober, I've seen family members and friends struggling because they don't see the out. And I'm standing right here saying, there is an out. You have to want it for you. You can't do it for someone else. It doesn't work that way. If you can't fix yourself first, you can't fix anything. And that's the way life is. That's just the way it is. And when I found AA and became on this path of I never want to go back to that, I worked my steps every single day. Put one foot in front of the other and keep going. Because it's better on this side than what it was back there. Better here than there. Better with these people than alone. You find a sense of belonging, a sense of being with others who truly understand you, who truly care about you staying sober with you, for you, and are cheering you on in the fellowship. And when you fall down, get back up. Get back up. Not every day is going to be perfect and happy and sunshine and rainbows. Life isn't like that. But we can make our own life better than drinking. Drinking is a long, painful, lonely road. And being sober is worth every day of every feeling to feel it sober. I cry, happy tears, sad tears, and you know what? I still have my sobriety, and to me, that is what's most important. Staying sober, working my steps, talking to people, sharing my story, doing these meetings here, talking to sponsors. I have a sponsor who has, all I have to do is say, hey, I'm having this issue, and vice versa. That's how it works. It's a connection of people that are there to inspire you to keep going forward without going back to that. Back to that is not a good place. Going forward is the way to go. Keep putting your foot in front of the other and keep taking those steps every day of I am sober today and I'm going to stay sober today and keep doing that every single day. Every day. Every day. I have people in my family and friends that still drink. That doesn't bother me. They don't need to tell me that they're having a drink. They don't need to tell me that there's alcohol there. They don't need to hide it. I'm not going to drink it. I'm strong enough to say, no, I'm not doing that. Can't guarantee that tomorrow. Can't guarantee that a year from now. All I can guarantee is today and my plans to stay this way. Because we have today. We have today of being sober, happy, sad, clear-headed, true feelings. And that's the way to go. That is forever the way to go. I, I've met some very amazing people in my sobriety journey. Really amazing people in meetings, coworkers, friends, family members. The only thing that I ask for my family members to do when they are drunk, don't come and cause problems. Please, I don't want to say the wrong thing and make them mad at me, but I'm not going to sit there and listen to you say, well, this is your fault when it's not. Yeah, I've had a family member do that recently. It's not my fault. I didn't tell you to get drunk. I didn't tell you to call me and say those things and then blame me for what you said. It's not okay. All I can do is work my steps and pray that they find it's not their own will. They have to give it up to be able to have what's right in front of them, and that's sobriety. I pray that they find it. This is exactly also the truth. The next day, I received a visit from Mr. T, a recovered alcoholic. I don't know what sort of person I was expecting, but I was very agreeably surprised to find Mr. T a poised, intelligent, well-groomed, and mannered gentleman. I was immediately impressed With his graciousness and charm, he put me at ease with his first few words. Looking at him, I found it hard to believe he had ever been as I was then. You never know. But there is help. There's people there to help. There's groups that help. Talk to your doctor and see if they can send you to give you information about meetings. If you don't want to tell your doctor about it, look online, Google it. I'm not sponsored by Google, but Google AA meetings or NA meetings. It's free. It is free. You can go and have a cup of coffee and hang out with people that will relate to your story, that will understand you, and you will understand and realize that you're really not in this by yourself. There's a lot of us, believe it or not. There is a lot of us. Let's see how long I've been on. I feel like I've been on all day. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read this daily reflection and let you guys go back to your day. Oh, hello, Ava. Sorry I didn't see you come in. Thank you for being here. A priceless reward. Work with other alcoholics. It works when other activities fail. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 81. Lay down. Lay down. You gotta wait a minute. I'm almost done. Just wait a minute. Sit down and wait. Sit and wait. Hopper's right here bugging me. Life will take a new meaning as the big book says, page 89. This promise has helped me to avoid self-seeking and self-pity, to watch others grow in this wonderful program, to see them improve the quality of their lives, is a priceless reward for my effort to help others. Self-examination is yet another reward of an ongoing recovery as our serenity, peace, and contentment, the energy delivered from seeing others on successful paths or of sharing with them the joys of the journey gives to my life a new meaning. Exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Let me do a serenity prayer and hope you guys have a wonderful week. I will be live again on Sunday. I'm thinking maybe about 4 o'clock, maybe. I hope. So that way I can have some evening people come in. So, hi, Brandy. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you guys. Be safe out there.